No, Hogan ain't no racist. I know Hogan very well. Because he used the N-word don't make him a racist. A lot of people use things but don't make him a racist. You know, Snoop Dogg used the N-word all the time, but don't make him a racist, you know. No, Hogan just got angry because guys promised him they're going to help his daughter in the music career, and instead of trying to help her in the music career, they're trying to help her into their bedroom. And if that was my daughter, I would have got pissed off and called him names too.
Sure.
That's his daughter.
And that was said in a private conversation. He didn't know he was being recorded either.
Well, that ain't the point. The point of it is that's his daughter. And when you mess with a man's daughter, you know, it's special, but father and daughter relationship is very, very special. And these guys were trying to turn his daughter out. And Hogan knew that. They're going to turn his daughter into what we call an arena rat. He didn't want that for his daughter. That's why he never let her into the wrestling, because he was always afraid that the wrestler was going to turn his daughter into what we call an arena rat.
A rat, yeah.
Into a rat. And he didn't want that for his daughter. So he got these guys that he trusted that going to help his daughter to get into the music career. And they trying to make her into something that sleazy and use her for their own sexual gratification. And he wasn't going to go for it. Yes, he called him a name.
Any father would be angry.
No father would go there. And the only reason Hogan got so much gripe about it because he was Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And when you're up like this, people are always looking for some type of way of bringing you down. But Hogan always will be one of my best friends, if not the best friend I've had.
Have you talked to the Hulkster over the past few years? Huh? Have you heard from him in the past few years?
Not really, but when he was making appearances, one thing about Hogan, I remember one time he was in Maine, the first time he started when he was pushing his daughter's music career, and somebody went back in the dressing room and said, Tony Atlas out there. And Hogan come out of the dressing room, looking through the crowd for me, saw me, come on back here.
Now, what was it, at a concert?
Yeah, it was at what they call it, it's right up in Maine, it's Six Flags or something like that, where they had the water slide.
Oh, an amusement park?
Yeah, the amusement park. They had
why were you there?
Well, I went there to see Hogan because I hear his daughter was performing there.
Oh, you went to see him?
Yeah, because his daughter was performing. She was singing. So he was getting her book. He was taking her places to get a book to get a music career off. And they came to Maine and treated me like gold. I was down in the Icon of Wrestling, 2013. He was there. The Ultimate Warrior was in the room. I told the guy, I tell the Ultimate Warrior, Tony Atlas said, the Ultimate Warrior came back and said, nobody comes in unless they got a ticket. I told the guys, go tell Hogan I'm outside. Hogan come out of the back, grabbed me and took me in the back. That was the difference between the Ultimate Warrior and Hogan.
A genuine human being.
Greatest guy you want to meet in life.
I've heard a lot
Hogan is the greatest guy you ever want to meet in your life. He's a true American gentleman. He's a great, great, great guy. I have nothing bad to say about Hogan. And anybody got anything bad to say about Hulk Hogan is full of shit.
Do you think at any time Hogan professionally tried to hold people back for his own gain?
No.
Never?
No, never.
Really?
No.
You don't
he didn't have to.
Well.
Why?
He
didn't have to. He was over like $1 million when he beat the Iron Sheik. Couldn't nobody touch him even if they wanted to. The fans put Hogan there, not no promotion. The promotion didn't do that. He didn't hold no wrestler back. A lot of wrestlers grew under Hogan. A lot of them. Look at all the guys that got developed under the Hogan title. Randy Savage, Mr. Wonderful.
What a run they had in '86.
Mr. Wonderful, the Killer Bees. I mean, look at all the guys that grew under Hogan Championship. Grew under it. If he was trying to hold people back, who did he try to hold back? Who?
Guys that weren't as successful as he was.
That didn't have nothing to do with Hogan. They couldn't put their asses in the seat. That's up to Vince. They got nothing to do with Hogan.
You were there.
If you draw money for Vince, Vince putting you on top. If you're not making money for Vince, if Vince put more money in you than what you bring to the table, he's not going to keep you in that spot. Yeah. No businessman going to keep you running to the store if you're not bringing in no revenue. Hogan brought in the revenue. He put asses in the seat. And during that period of time, couldn't nobody sell. I was on the undercard with Hogan, making $4,000 a week.
Wow.
On the undercard.
Working on the Hogan shows was a good thing.
But everybody want to be on them. And a lot of guys became popular because of Hogan. Because Hogan brought that audience and that attention to wrestling that would have never been there, and these guys would have never, like Paul Orndorff would never be what he were if it wasn't for Hogan. Randy Savage would never been what he was if it wasn't for Hogan. And then Hogan made other people too. Look, Mr. T, he made Mr. T.
Bigger.
Right, and he's the one that made WrestleMania. Look, he sold out stadiums.
Well, right now there is
The
room.
only guy that came close to taking Hogan's place was Undertaker. That's it. There had never been a phenomenon like Hogan other than the Undertaker. Brock Lesnar ain't going to be able to do what Hogan did. He's not.
What about John Cena?
No.
Really?
No.
All right. Well,
No. Because Hogan came along at a time. The time is different. You see, John got more to work with than Hogan did. Hogan didn't have all that competition. John Cena do. You got so much on cable television. Hogan came along in the 80s, right at the beginning of cable, where they didn't have a lot of great American heroes. And he was an all-American boy. The timing is everything. John Cena, yes, he's just as great a wrestler as Hogan. He's just as big a draw as Hogan. But John got more to compete against. There was no UFC during Hogan time. There was no big white athletes in any sport except for Hogan.
yeah.
Now you got other things. You know, there's too much. John got a harder road to travel than Hogan did. And that's why it's going to be so hard for anybody to follow and do what Hogan did with the with Hulkamania. Because it hit at the right time. Kind of like the Stallone, the Rocky movie.
I think
If you made them same movies today, they would not have the impact today that they did then. You see what I'm saying?
The World Wrestling Federation was live at the St. Louis Arena in St. Louis, Missouri, Thursday, March the 14th, 1985. In the opening contest, Matt Bourne battled Barry O to a draw. Magnificent Don Morocco victorious over Swede Hansen. Jim Neidhart with the win over Rick McGraw. George Wells beat Jerry Valiant. Cowboy Bob Orton defeated Bret Hart. Tony Atlas victorious over the Playboy Buddy Rose. Andre the Giant and the Junkyard Dog with the win over Big John Studd and Ken Patera in a Texas Tornado match. And in the main event, WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan retained the title over Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. If you were in St. Louis live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.